welcome to Storyboard. I'm Shibani Gharat. First, we are catching up with Vivek Srivatsa, Chief Commercial Officer, Tata Passenger Electric Mobility. Tata Curvv is set to be launched in August in EV form first, followed by the ICE variant in a few days after. The Curvv is a coupe SUV from Tata Motors that will compete with the likes of Creta, Seltos, Kushaq, Taigun and the rest of the mid-sized SUV in the SUV segment. Vivek is speaking with us about the positioning of the new Curvv being a market leader in EV in terms of market share in India. What are their plans to grow and strengthen their position? What has changed after launching a dedicated EV channel, Tata.ev, last year? Why is Kerala such an important market for Tata Motors EV business? And how are they bolstering the charging infrastructure in some parts of the country? What marketing strategy has driven growth for them so far? And much more. Listen in. So Tata Curvv is about to be launched in August. It's a mid-size SUV, first SUV coupe from Tata Motors. Tell us about the positioning of Tata Curvv and what is the need gap that it will be fulfilling in a market where there is already the likes of Seltos and Creta which are present and which are fairly popular vehicles.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, for a change we are entering late into a category. And Tata Motors have always believed in kind of disrupting the category. Whenever we enter, disrupting with design, and all the more reason we need to do it with the Curvv, because we have to give customers some completely new proposition, both in terms of the design, the functionality. So Curvv is squarely aimed at the meat of the mid SUV market, but with our customer research and then discussion internally, we decided obviously we'll have to disrupt it on shape and design. And also on functionality. You will see soon when it is unveiled in person that it actually unleashes much more daily functionality than even a normal SUV. Like has been our tradition, whenever we get into a new segment, we try to do something different, right from the Indica days to Nano, and then we did with Nexon in 2017.
Yeah.
We came with a different shaped SUV in the compact SUV. Yeah. So to answer your question in a couple of words, we are entering right into the mid SUV market, but with a very disruptive design.
And it will be launched as EV first as compared to ICE. Tell us what was the thought behind doing this?
Yeah, so it EV first, but not too much of a gap, a month gap. But yes, we want to focus first on the EV because of two reasons. One is the EV, which is on the new active architecture, which is a pure EV architecture, unleashes a huge amount of tech features, even more than what we saw with the Punch. We thought we needed that to really sink into customers. It is going to be a lot of news, when we speak about ICE also, it's going to come with huge number of powertrains and features. So just to declutter customers' minds and position the EV and ICE little independent of each other, we have taken that call. But yes, it's a big statement.
What I have seen and observed amongst the customers is that two things that are, stopping them from making that switch is, of course, the two reasons are the range and the charging infrastructure. Is that also the reason is what you are seeing that is led to, the decline of EVs in the market and EV
I won't
purchases?
say it's a decline, but yes, I think to some extent the speed with which customers expected solutions for these two problems probably have not been given, and that's why Curvv is a very important product in India's EV journey, I would say, because with Curvv we are substantially addressing the entire range anxiety issue. It will be the longest range Tata product, and we are still not ready to announce the range, but it will deliver a real world range where customers can actually be extremely comfortable in doing long drives, really long drives, and not having to worry about having to charge it in between. The range will be such that most intercity journeys can be done very comfortably. Yes, charging infrastructure also is one of the bigger reasons for customers not adopting EV, but we are working with a lot of charging operators and the oil marketing companies. Last year we did something called open collaboration, where we have opened out all our data and helping them to put the charger in the right place so that people have access to fast charging on highways and take away this issue about I would say charging anxiety, and range anxiety we'll solve with the kind of range we'll give on Curvv.
Yeah, and being a market leader, what else are your plans and strategy to grow and strengthen your position in the EV market?
So we'll continue working very aggressively on with the charging services providing operators, because the next 2 years I think we have to proliferate a lot of chargers across the length and breadth of the country. Thankfully, a lot of startups, oil marketing companies are firmly focused on this. That will be one of the biggest moves that we aid, I would say. We won't be directly doing it, but we'll provide information where our EVs are running. Today we have more than 150,000 customers doing long drives and owning EVs, so we have very specific data on charging areas. Plus also working inside cities. Today we provide a charger with every car that we sell, but that can be installed only when the customer has a dedicated charging spot or parking spot. If a customer doesn't have a parking spot, where does he put his charger? So we are working to provide community level chargers, a bank of 5 or 6 chargers in every locality, so that customers don't depend on having a parking lot to be able to charge. Once we do that, we'll be opening out a huge opportunity for customers who don't have dedicated parking lots, which we estimate is close to 70% of the market.
And what is the biggest myth about EV that you have successfully addressed? If you can share that with us.
I would not say successfully addressed, because it's still a lot of work to do. But one of the biggest myth, and hopefully through this interview people will, a few of them will get an idea, is about the battery life. We went ahead and gave a 8-year battery life, a battery warranty. And people assume that that's the life of the battery, but actually the life of battery is much, much higher. Even if you assume 2,500 charge cycles before a battery starts degrading, we are talking about something in excess of 7 lakh kilometers. And I think 99% of cars in India do not run more than 1 lakh kilometers, and we are talking about a battery life of 7 lakh, after which degradation happens. So people don't need to worry about battery life at all, because the battery in fact will outlast the car.
Yeah. Every time I come to Tata Motors office over here, there is something new that I go back with. For example, initially I learned how doctors are buying a lot of EV. Then last time we spoke, you spoke about how a lot of women are buying your mass market EV, which is Tata Tiago EV. So what else? What are the insights and how have they evolved over the years?
I think the insights is, once people buy EVs, they drive more. In fact, because driving becomes so much easier, and
cheaper.
And cheaper also. But the pain of driving in traffic comes down substantially, because EV is just so much easier to both maneuver in traffic, and you don't have the stress of operating a clutch and the instant response. You can, get into that short gap very quickly before the other person puts a gear. So on an average, once a person buys an EV, his driving goes up by 30%, because one is it's cheaper, second is there's no stress of driving, so, and they start enjoying the drives. So that is one big realization we had, that if somebody is doing 100 kilometers in a month or 1000 kilometers in a month, it goes to 1300, 1400 in a month when they buy an EV. So probably because it's cheaper, because it's easier to, and it's just a better space to be in, and maybe it's more enjoyable also.
About a year ago, you launched a dedicated platform for EVs, which is Tata.ev. How has it helped your efforts in, furthering the penetration of EV in the country?
Hugely, in fact. I would say we opened our first store in Jan, so it's about 7 months now. And also our first EV exclusive service center in Gurgaon. Customer feedback, customer experience is what we wanted to deliver, which is more akin to buying a tech product. Feedback from our customers have been fantastic. The stores themselves have become a bit of destination, like some of the other famous retail outlets. The store itself is a destination. We have been able to specifically take care of the EV customer specific needs. The service center, it caters only to EVs, and that's where we have seen a huge uptick in satisfaction, because the quality of service is better, because these guys are specialists in EVs. We've released much needed bandwidth. Today on the ICE side, there's a bit of rush in our service centers, and sometimes it affects the quality of service delivery. But here, people take their time and work in a very, I would say, dedicated manner on EV. So customers are extremely happy on the service side as well. We will soon be expanding this now. Probably we'll be going to Kerala in the next 1 month.
Why Kerala?
Kerala because it's one of the, it's the largest EV market in the country. Kerala EV penetration is extremely high. So much so that in Kerala about 40% of our sales comes from EVs.
Is there a particular reason for that?
I think the topography of the state lends itself to EV. The distances are not too high. Charging infrastructure is fantastic. And I think the customer mindset also is a little bit more progressive. I always feel that Kerala leads the country by about 2 years. What happens in Kerala now will happen across the country in 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've seen it repeatedly happen.
Yeah.
And we also needed to expand our network bandwidth, because since EVs are selling so much, the dealers had to manage many more models there, and probably we needed 2 independent setups to cater to our ICE customers fully and also the EV customers fully.
Wow.
And we have so many EVs coming up now, so we need to have that 2 different networks to squeeze out the potential on both sides.
Yeah, and also tell us about the marketing efforts towards promoting and pushing your EV vehicles. How are they different from let's say marketing efforts for ICE?
Yeah. So see, while we are very happy to be dominant market leaders on the EV side, the pressure is that if we have to grow, we can't conquest market share from anybody. We have to grow the category itself. And growing the EV category is probably pretty challenging in the last 1 year or so, with a lot of issues around the globe and a narrative being driven in different ways. So the challenge for marketing is not about building awareness, etc., but it's about breaking myths, getting more people to come and try out EVs. So it's almost like category creation, and that's why we actually focus about 70% of messaging on our marketing spend towards category growth rather than saying buy a Tata Motor EV. So we believe that if we grow the category, we'll grow automatically. It is a bit of challenge sometimes when marketing ROIs are calculated, saying how much you spend and how much you actually sell. The cycle is very, very long for the EV category. But efforts are on. You would have seen, like I mentioned earlier, our ads on IPL or on TV or anything that we communicate is more to grow the category, more to break myths about EVs rather than say that my product is better than the competitor product, which is what happens on the ICE side. On the ICE side, it's about you have a fixed market. It's about who takes how much share. Whereas here, the category is so small, it's about how do we grow the category. So it is a little bit of a challenge, but I'm sure we'll have effort. The positive side is Indian consumers are more and more getting interested in EVs. If you look at the number of people visiting our websites over the last 4 years, it has grown 200 times. Number of inquiries we get on a month-to-month basis. If I compare with what was happening in 21 to now, again it has grown 6 or 7 times on a daily basis. So Indian consumers are more and more interested in EVs. They are searching for EVs online. They are coming to our stores, coming to our websites. It's only, I think, in the customer's mind, it's about when I'll shift to EV rather than should I. I think that when is getting pushed a little bit because of many things. I think they're waiting for charging infrastructure to grow. They're waiting for the suite product to come in, and also this, different news about EVs versus other technologies that are going around. But I think it's a temporary trough which we'll cross, and all the marketing investment we are doing, I'm really hoping we have a very consolidated returns few months down the line.
Yeah, and you personally drive an EV, a Tata Nexon EV, I believe. So how has your experience changed in the past couple of years?
I absolutely love it. You will be surprised. Since I had a nice car at home and I got the Nexon EV, I thought I'll just use the EV because I'm selling EVs. I have to have an EV at home.
Right, at least.
I said I'll drive the Nexon EV, but I'll use my ICE car also most of the time. But since the day I started driving the EV, I have not driven the ICE car at all. So much so that I have sold the ICE car now. I just have one EV at home. because once you drive it and get used to it, you cannot get back into a ICE car. So even if I remove my professional side, I'm a complete EV convert, I would
And
say.
if you were to personalize, or customize one custom feature or design element in your EV, what would that be?
I would probably change the interior to a brighter color.
To a brighter color?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Now it is a bit, beige. Maybe I'll change it to a yellow or something like that.
Yeah. Oh. Great, great. And with more players coming into the market, do you think this will also lead to the further expansion of the market overall in the country?
Absolutely. I think more players means there is more chatter about EV in the industry, and more customers considering EVs. So it's going to definitely grow. And even from our side, one of the points I wanted to add earlier was how we are going to grow is, apart from working on converting customers' mindsets, we are also going to proliferate the market with more and more products. So with more products coming in, EVs will be present in more subcategories. Automatically, more customers will start considering. So I think competition coming in and we ourselves adding a lot of new products are going to grow the market, which is good.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us today and thanks for your insights.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
It is time for a short break. On the other side, Paris Olympics 2024 begins this weekend and it has captured the excitement of not only athletes and fans but also a range of sponsoring brands. We find out how Tokyo Olympics changed the game, which are star athletes that have bagged big endorsement deals and brand interest in sport beyond cricket and much more. Paris Olympics 2024 begins this weekend and it has captured the excitement of not only athletes and fans but also a range of sponsoring brands. According to sources, Indian Olympic Association, that is IOA, has secured sponsorship deals worth rupees 50 crore featuring prominent brands such as Reliance, BPCL, Adani, Aditya Birla Capital, Yes Bank, Amul, Inox Leisure, JSW, Puma and Tasva. Many of these sponsors have launched campaigns featuring some of the star athletes too. And speaking of star athletes, as some of them are warming up to set new records, brands too are gearing up to piggyback on these athletes' success. And many brands have already onboarded some of these champions. On that front, Olympic gold medalist Neeraj Chopra has been leading the charge. He has become the darling of numerous brands like Visa, Under Armour, Samsung, P&G, Optimum Nutrition, Omega, and many more. In fact, he is the only non-cricket sports star to feature among the top 25 most valued celebrities in 2023, according to a Kroll report released recently. He is ranked at 21st spot with a brand valuation of $29.6 million. Chopra's endorsement roster has grown by leaps and bounds since Tokyo Olympics, and we are just hoping that with time, Neeraj Chopra is sure to get even more lucrative deals with some of the biggest brands. Moving on, ace shuttler and Olympic medalist PV Sindhu is also amongst the top non-cricketing sport icons. She endorses a variety of brands across categories such as Bank of Baroda, Optimum Nutrition, Visa, Century Mattresses, American Pistachio Growers, Flyboo and more. It is exciting to see how the Tokyo Olympics 2020, which actually took place in 2021, the growth in the sponsorship and brand deals has been significant. We were all still working in a hybrid or mostly work from home kind of setup, and the Olympics grabbed the attention of all, especially for Olympic medalists like weightlifter Mirabai Chanu, boxer Lavlina, hockey's Manpreet and Harmanpreet. These athletes have secured endorsement deals with sponsors across categories including Domino's, Adidas, Puma, A6, Britannia, Evocus, Herbalife and many more. And many exceptional performers such as Manika Batra, Nikhat Zareen have gained tremendous popularity since past 3 years, being featured in brand campaigns as well as popular platforms like KBC as well.
जब मैं टॉप ऑफ द पोडियम पे खड़ी थी और मुझे गोल्ड मेडल पहनाया गया और नेशनल एंथम प्ले हो रहा था। जब जैसा हमारा झंडा ऊपर जा रहा था तो मैंने नेशनल एंथम प्ले होने से पहले मुड़ के मैंने देखा कि लोग खड़े हो रहे या नहीं। जैसे मैंने देखा अंग्रेज लोग सारे खड़े हो रहे थे।
Overall, sports sponsorship in India has continued its progress on an upward trajectory. The Indian sports industry has crossed the 15,000 crore rupee mark in 2023, according to the media investment company Group M Sporting Nation report released in March. Sponsorship, athlete endorsements and media spends by brands, these three cumulatively have delivered this kind of revenue. But unfortunately, cricket took away a large portion of this pie. If 2022 saw India's leading sport, which is cricket, scoring 3/4 of the total sponsorship, contributing 75% of the overall sponsorship value, the numbers got even more skewed last year as the equivalent figure rose to 79%. A key enabler for this was the favorable schedule of our men's cricket team and greater visibility of this sport. So essentially, जो दिखता है वही बिकता है. But as more and more Olympians become visible through their campaigns, their own social media platforms and many such mass media opportunities, hoping this story will change going forward. Also, the official broadcaster and streaming partner of Paris Olympics 2024 in India, Jio Cinema, is firing on all cylinders to ensure Indians get to watch their favorite athletes. There will be 18 concurrent feeds directly from the Olympics, which will cover all the 45 sporting disciplines being played at that point in time. Now, Jio Cinema will dynamically update the icons on top of the app to reflect whichever Olympic sport is live at that moment. The app will also have a dedicated tab for Olympics, which will have all the sought-after details like schedule, medal tally, India's participation, etc. All of this will definitely help viewers stay in the thick of the action at Paris Olympics 2024.
Also introduces a first-of-its-kind women power feed, focusing only on the women athletes. An easily accessible real-time schedule to keep you updated with what's happening and when, along with daily highlights curated by DM Sport. And more exciting content for the best Olympic experience. Olympics coverage made easy, exciting and personal on your fingertips, on your terms, only on Jio Cinema.
With that, it's a wrap on Storyboard this week. I'm looking forward to catching up all the Olympic action over the next couple of weeks. Goodbye.